All right. Good afternoon. Thank you everybody for coming out today. Talking back about the game on Saturday at the Coliseum. I think it was everything we thought it would be. It was as advertised in terms of a great college football atmosphere and a really cool venue. And I think we played an outstanding football team, a well-coached football team. I think Lincoln had his guys incredibly ready to play. Um, and it was an outstanding offensive performance by their football team. It was something I haven't seen at the quarterback position, that kind of efficiency, probably since I had the opportunity to be on the sideline with Andrew Luck. So I'm a believer in Caleb Williams, and I'm a fan now that we don't have to play him again. But with that being said, the result's disappointing. We put a lot into it. I thought our players prepared incredibly well. I thought they did everything we asked them to do through training camp, through the prep for SC. And as we know, all that guarantees you is your best chance. And unfortunately, we didn't really give them our best shot. That's really what I wanted from these guys. I wanted them to be able to go out and perform. I thought that was a formula to win and end up at the end of the first quarter tied 7-7. A lot of good things. And then there was some calls that maybe didn't go our way that, it's part of football, and we know that. And then there's a play that really changed the composure of the game on the pick six. And, again, that's our best players. One throwing the ball to another one, a catch that we normally make, and the ball unfortunately got tipped up in the air and went back. And that's football. As we all know, the football is a weird shaped ball that bounces funny. And that day it bounced funny for us. And the thing I've told our team is, we've got to learn from it. We've got to continue to prepare the right way and do things the right way and be able to go forward. And we all know, we talk about it every year, the biggest growth you should have as a football team is between game one and game two. And we've got to make that our reality this week. And that's what I think our team is completely committed to doing. The guys had 6:15 meetings this morning, and they didn't come in like a bunch of 18 to 23-year-old college kids. They came in ready to learn. A couple of them grabbed coffee on the way in, and they got to meetings, and they attacked it the right way. And I think we'll have a great practice this afternoon. And that's what I'm looking forward to as we prepare for this opportunity this weekend, our home opener in historic Rice Stadium, celebrating the 60th anniversary of JFK's speech and getting to play the game we love in front of our friends and family. So there's a lot to be excited about. We learned from the film yesterday, and we have shut the door. We have moved on, and we're onward and upward, as you should be, as you talk about a NASA type game. So that's what we're doing. I'm also excited to talk about this uniform that we have beside us. There's some really cool components to it as you look at it. If you notice on the sleeve, there's key excerpts from JFK's speech that was given in Rice Stadium 60 years ago. The coordinates of Rice Stadium, the geo coordinates are on the collar. I'm not sure if you can see those right now. I don't think you can. On the back, the nameplate is HOU.TX, representing the connection that Houston, Texas is Space City. A couple other things. You look at the Rice Space logo as you look up there, and that's the logo they've done for this game. There's 6 stars that signify the moon landing that took place in the past, and the big 7th star is for the Artemis mission going to Mars as we look forward. So a lot of cool things. The Navy is obviously signifying Rice's relationship with NASA. The gold that you see is the same gold that represents the gold foil on lunar landing equipment, which I think is, as a kid that loved NASA growing up, I think is really, really cool. But overall, the white base uniform looks like a spacesuit with the American flag and everything. And the name of this complete look is Artemis I. So we will look good. Our stadium will look great as we've made these changes to the stadium in the offseason that we've talked about a lot. I'm excited for everybody to see those things in person. And again, our kids were pretty excited about this swag that they'll get to wear. And a big shout out to David Pillen and Tanner Gardner and their respective teams collaborating with Adidas and NASA to make this a reality for this weekend. We're playing a good team. That's what we can't look past. I think Coach Goff in his first year has brought in 58 transfers to McNeese State. They went up there and played the division or the FCS team that played in the national championship game last year in Montana State last weekend, and they had a chance to tie it right before half. And then that game got away from them after a couple big plays. But Coach Goff has done a great job every place he's been. I look at what he did at Valdosta State last year, taking that team to the national championship game. And then a day later, he takes over as McNeese State's head coach. I can only imagine that he probably hasn't had a chance to breathe since that day. But in any case, he's building a great program, and we're excited to have them coming into our place this weekend. With that, I'll open it up for any questions. Yeah, there's a lot of bumps and bruises. I think it was a physical football game against the 14th ranked team in America. And I think we made it physical at times. I think you saw like both sides of our line doing some good things, either creating holes in the run game or stopping their run game for the most part, aside from the quarterback once he got loose, and so I think we made it really physical. There are bumps and bruises. Also got home at 4 a.m. Sunday morning, and some of those things that are part of a long trip like that. But it was good to get back on the field yesterday and get a little bit of a flush. And today I expect everybody's bodies to feel a little bit better. So I like that we went in there and we weren't big-eyed. I like that we went in there and from the start, we played good football. Hey, they scored a touchdown. They're a dynamic offense with a lot of talented pieces. I didn't know exactly how those pieces would come together. I didn't know how the quarterback would be timing-wise. I didn't know if the offensive line would adjust to that scheme the way they did, but they were a dominant offense. They go down the field and they score and, walk over to the offense. Hey, it's our turn. Let's go get one. And then you do. And so I think that ability to do that and not have the moment be too big for us was huge. Now, again, when the thing started snowballing, it was really tough. And so that's one thing that, what do I take away that was really good? I think our ability to run the rock was really good, especially in the first half when we were able to keep them honest. I think being able to, anytime you play a Power 5 team and you're able to go goal line and pretty much walk in the end zone, that's a good thing. That's guys doing their job and being very physical. And again, defensively, like they had one big run by the running back, number 14. And aside from that, we did a pretty good job keeping them at bay. And so there's a lot of positives. Another big positive is it's as well as we played on special teams in recent memory. And to the point where you'd say we beat that talented team on special teams. Now we got to win all three phases, but at least that is really good to see. Tim Horn kick 2 balls that for touchbacks. And then the one they choose to return, we tackle him at the 16-yard line. A great play by Litchfield, just incredible play. And then punting the football did a great job. And our coverage unit did a great job on that. We averaged 40.5 a punt. I thought the play George Nyakol made as the runner tried to get back to the field was incredible, running that down. Just unbelievable effort on all phases of special teams. Juma had a couple really nice kickoff returns, some individual effort there that made those things the returns they were. So really pleased with the progress we've made on special teams. Need that to continue, and then just need offense and defense to play the way we're capable of. And again, like what went wrong on offense? Well, you had 3 balls hit receivers in the hands and get tipped up and intercepted. That's tough because that's not supposed to happen, right? It didn't happen all camp. These are great players that make those plays. We had a couple guys times up front where we mis-ID'd fronts and didn't have great communication. And again, is that a game 1 thing? Yeah, it is, but I don't want it. I expect our offensive line to be more veteran than that, to be able to do it. And then defensively, the bad would be, we had missed tackles and we had a few missed assignments. The missed assignments we've got to eliminate. The missed tackles, I think that may go back to your point about we were trying to tackle some really good football players, and you're going to have a few of those. We'll continue to coach the technique and show them the right way to do it, but they're really good football players on the other sideline. Yeah, I mean, those are the ones that are easy to correct, is continuing to talk about like where we align, right? What our job is. And once we're all on the same page from an assignment standpoint, then we get a chance to really be the football players that I think we are. And that's what's exciting is we got a few things that we'll correct from misalignment standpoint. But the physical, like, again, like I don't want to take anything away from that team on the other sideline. I think they're spectacular. And so when somebody on their sideline looks like they're running away from our defense, it's because they're extremely fast. It's not because we're slow. It's not because we're not doing things the right way. They have a couple superstars that are hard to deal with when they get out in space. Yeah, I think it was a big swing in the game when the ball got tipped as we were driving. It was a 14-point swing on the scoreboard. It felt and then you lose your quarterback gets banged up on the play. So that changes that aspect. A guy that's taken the majority of the reps. I mean, we had told you in here a week before that the competition between TJ and Wiley was really close. And it was. There was a few plays that separated them throughout training camp. But then you give Wiley essentially 10 days of work on the USC Trojans, and TJ gets maybe 20% of the reps Wiley did. And so he's not as comfortable in the game plan. And that's just a reality. When you have a starter and you have a backup, you want your starter to be in there. So I think all those things played into account. But you're right. Like when you go the depth down on a Power 5 roster, it's never going to be the same depth as that on a Group of 5 roster. As much as we love our depth and we have made depth that we can put in a game, it's not the same. Yeah. So Cameron, we are very optimistic that he will practice tomorrow. And Wiley, like if you'd asked me on Sunday, I would have been really probably leaning towards doubtful. He got better and felt better yesterday. He was on the field yesterday, not practicing, but out there. And then this morning talked to him in meetings and he seems to feel another day better. So I don't know what that means. If he's healthy, I know he wants to go. We'll see if he can get cleared by the doctors. And again, like this is not something that's anything structural. This is going to be as his body comes back to him and we're able to do the things that we need him to do, we'll get him back out there. God, yes, absolutely. This humidity here is something serious for those people on the West Coast. I was trying to make our kids understand there's going to be direct sunlight. It's going to be hotter than it's been in LA in 2 years and all that. And we did a good job hydrating and preparing. I thought our strength and conditioning staff did an outstanding job. Our athletic trainers did a great job. But we didn't cramp. We didn't have any issues. So it obviously isn't the same as this Houston heat that we all know about. Like I'd be surprised. You play a game at 6:30 here Saturday night against McNeese State. I imagine we'll have some people in that game cramp on one sideline or the other.
All right, we'll open it up. Anybody on Zoom with any questions for Coach?
Hey, Bloom, I know pounding the rock has always been a big thing in this offense. How encouraging was it to see how y'all ran the football, especially early against USC, but at the same time, especially that first drive, being able to mix and match with run and pass all the way down the field?
Yeah, it was a great first drive. And again, as good as it felt to pound the rock and to kind of impose your will a little bit on some of those drives, that first drive doesn't happen if it's not for Wiley Green and Luke McCaffrey keeping those drives alive on those third downs. Their connection and some of the things that they did there was just outstanding. And I thought Coach Tui did a great job game planning it, and those guys did a great job executing. I thought Wiley threw with great anticipation on that drive. And then some of the subsequent drives, you hit some big ones on them, and Cameron gets loose a little bit. That was a lot of fun. I mean, that is fun when the guys will come off the ball, the offensive line, the tight ends, and they're able to get that kind of movement against a Power 5 team, and then your back hits it that way. That's a lot of fun.
And then there's been a lot of hope that this O-line unit would come together and be one of the better ones that y'all been able to field. How do you think big picture? I know you had a new guy in there getting his first licks. How do you feel the O-line performed as a whole?
Yeah, I thought as a whole they did very good. And again, I wish you could segment the game for them and say, like, how did they grade out in the first half? Because they graded out incredibly well in the first half. And then the second half, when some things started spiraling, and nobody did as well at that point in the game. And that's something we got to continue to work through. It wasn't like there was a lapse in mental toughness. It wasn't like there was a lapse in focus. We just didn't perform as well. And I couldn't put my finger on exactly what that is, but I just know as the game wore on, we didn't perform as well as we did in the first half, run or pass.
And then when you look forward at McNeese State, you said they were a good team. What are one or two things that you think they do particularly well that y'all are going to have to prepare for?
Yeah, I think number one, it's a little bit like last week in terms of we really still don't know who's going to be where, right? There's 58 transfers that came in. Some of them were able to play in the opener, some weren't. You got a 2-quarterback system. One kid coming in from Virginia Tech who ended up getting the start, and the kid from Georgia Southern was reported to be the starter. And they both played, and they're both very good in different areas of that. As you talk about this being an air raid offense, and it is, but it certainly has more spread run tendencies to it. Like you're going to see quarterback driven run game, and I think that will lead us to see Cam Ransom, the kid from Georgia Southern. But you got some talented kids coming back, but you got all kinds of new pieces. And as they get involved in Coach Goff's offense, I think you're just going to see them continue to get better and better every week as they get more comfortable with the scheme. And defensively, a new scheme as well. But we had a chance to play this defensive coordinator. He was the defensive coordinator at Southern Miss in 2020. And so we had a chance to really get to understand some of what he does, and just like USC, there's going to be times where they have a lot of movement. There's going to be times where they stay and play. And, at Southern Miss last time he moved a lot and we found some holes in it. And just like when USC moved, we found some holes in it. That's the nice thing about the gap scheme is like we like movement in the gap scheme when our runners see it right. And right now they're seeing it incredibly well. So, whether we're running that or zone, you feel really good about going against a front that moves. And if they choose to stay and play, then we like our chances there too. We got to find a way to move them. That's going to be the thing that we have to do as an offensive line. We have to move them out of their space if they're not moving or slanting one way or the other.
Thanks.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you all. Have a great day.
We'll bring up Josh Pearcy next. And Josh, we'll talk first just a little bit, just reflections on the game last week, and then we'll get into the uniform modeling.
Yeah, reflection on the game. Like I just saw, like probably both sides of the ball, probably some mistakes made, probably a lot of things we would probably like to go back and change. But that's the nature of this game. You gotta have a short memory with it. Move on to the next game. But I just love the way that both sides of the ball we played hard to the end of the game, to the final whistle. I feel like there wasn't a lack in effort throughout the whole game. I feel like no matter what the score was, guys were hustling to the ball. Guys were trying to win. I feel like morale was pretty much obviously still like, even no matter what the score was, I feel like guys put in that same effort from the beginning of the game to the final whistle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, we're where we wanted to be. We're where we expected to be. Exactly. We suit up to win. So every game we go into, we suit up to compete and battle for that win. So we're where we expected to be. We marched on there to win that game. So right then we're in good shape, and we're happy that where we're at, and we just knew we had to keep going or to maintain that. Obviously that's not exactly how it went out, but when we're in that moment playing well, I feel like we're where we expected to be. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was a great experience. Obviously playing a team with that much talent, that much caliber is an opportunity. There's a well-coached team, very well-coached team, very talented team. And I feel like myself, the rest of the team was looking at as an opportunity to play against competition. Like I said, we suit up to compete. We suit up to win every game. To me, there's no point in showing up if you don't have that mindset. So we all saw it as an opportunity to play against a good team, to win, play on the big stage, like you said, in front of all those fans. Really just wanted to feed off of that energy. And I felt like it was a good start off the week one, just to see competition like that, regardless of win or loss. And I think it's gonna help us in future games later on, just knowing that even in the beginning we're there competing in the game. So like we know that we just have a lot to build off of. Thank you. Oh, I thought it was dope. I thought it was a great opportunity. When they asked me to do it, no questions asked, I was down to do it. Like anything that helps the program grow. I feel like it's a great new look. new fresh look, definitely what we need going into week 2. And I really saw it as just any way to help promote this and help promote what we're about to be doing this week and for the rest of the season. I saw it as a great opportunity. But a little bit, yeah. There'll be times where I'll be taking my pads out to do the shoe, and people ask like, "What am I getting my pads for?" It was like just clean out my locker or something like that. But no, it was cool. Like, definitely, the hardest part was keeping it serious because how great the uniforms look. Like, you want to show people, you want to show it off, honestly. But I saw the purpose for it. And I think having everyone see it all at once and be surprised, that it was all worth it. No, I knew probably like a week prior. Yeah, didn't tell anyone. Really the big reveal. They wanted to we all had a team meeting and everything in here. So all the hype video that y'all probably saw, like we wanted everyone to have that genuine feeling, like, and just focus on week 1, focus on USC. But now that we have watched that, now we can move on to new things like the new uniform. So that's it.
All right, any questions on Zoom for Josh?
And Josh, Bloom talked about how he thought y'all won special teams. I know Coach Mono has mentioned you as a guy that takes a lot of pride in special teams. What did that mean to you to go out and fare that well on that phase on Saturday?
Well, that was great. I felt like overall across all units, we had a pretty good day on special teams. We held the returners to minimal yards. And that was really good to see, despite the score, that the fact that we could have our special teams guys and units come out and play very well, I think is a lot to build off of. I think it gives a lot of confidence in that side of the ball. And like I said, like most games are won off of special teams. And that's something that we take pride on as a whole team. So like getting to see that, getting to see a good performance, and that was very, very reassuring.
And then what's something that you think, despite the game not going how you wanted to, what's something you saw from the defense that makes you pretty encouraged going forward? Something you think y'all did well or worked on really particularly well?
Well, like I said earlier, I feel like guys were flying to the ball throughout the whole game. People were putting in effort, but no one really like gave up on any play. So like really that mental toughness that Coach Bloom was talking about. And really, I liked how our secondary played. I feel like we played one of the best wide receiver units we're going to face all season. The fact that they were pretty much able to hold them for too many big plays, that was really promising to see. Just like how the guys just had that mental toughness throughout the whole game. And that's a lot to build off of and something we preach on the defense side of the ball every day.
And then when you look at McNeese, what's something when you kind of prepping for them that you see that stands out that y'all want to make sure you're able to stop on your side of the ball?
So with McNeese, like Coach said, they run that stretch run team. They manage the game well, and I think that's good for us because I feel like we're a defense that prides itself on being able to stop the run. So we're definitely excited for that opportunity and that competition. And like you said, the 2 quarterback system, that's something we got to stop. That's something that we got to be prepared for. Having those 2 styles, one more of a running quarterback, one more of a pocket passer, even though both can throw, but we also know that we got to come in with a different mentality this week. We got to know what we got to stop. We got to know we got to eliminate the big plays. We got to eliminate plays over our head, but also we got to stop that run because they know they're going to try to run the ball on us.
Thanks.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Bring up Jack Bradley. Jack, just your reflections on the game now. You get a chance to watch the film, and what do you take away from that?
Yeah, so obviously we didn't get the result we wanted. We always are expecting to win. We're always going in to games, doing what we can to, come out with that victory. And that didn't happen for us, but, there's a lot of good things to see on that film. We played pretty, solid first half, I think, offensively, did a lot of good things. And, I think just having, some mistakes and having those turnovers is something that is easily correctable and something, we can really hone in on making sure, we're focusing on that as an offense and making sure, you know, we're doing what we can to help our team get that win. Yeah, I think it really felt, you know, as an offense is really what I can speak on is, you know, we want to do what we can to help our team win. And so to have, you know, mistakes, you know, it is difficult at times, but I think for us to really move past those and continue to play in the game, you know, at full speed and give great effort, you know, that's something that's, you know, we can hang our hat on. You know, we did make those mistakes, and you know, it does, you know, lessen our chance of win. And being able to move past that and being able to continue to play and continue to give that effort all the way to the final whistle, you know, that's something, you know, that we want to do in every game as an offense, you know, no matter the score. And so to see that last week, you know, it was good to see that from our offense. Yeah, so you know, as a team, we prepare every week, you know, the same way. You know, we're treating teams the same way, giving it, you know, all we can, whether it's watching film, whether it's putting in schemes. You know, it's the same mindset. You know, we're coming in, we want to get that victory. You know, coming off week 1, we didn't get what we wanted, but we know, you know, it's a long season, and week 2 we have another opportunity. So what we want to do is go get a win. Yeah, I mean, these uniforms are awesome. You know, there's a lot of history behind it, which I think is really cool. Not only at the stadium, you know, but just with the city of Houston and, you know, space exploration in our country. So I think it's really cool to be a part of this and be a part of a uniform that represents that. Yeah, I think it has the entire JFK speech right here on the sleeve, which I thought was really cool when they showed it to us yesterday. It's, you know, I mean, and the design is amazing. I mean, I think it looks awesome. Just from looking at it.
Any questions for Jack on Zoom?
Hey, Jack, I know playing in this offense, it can be a lot. Y'all do so many things, but kind of what was it like the first drive of the game? You start in line, and then the next play you're split out and you catch a pass. Like, how much fun and do you have? And have you? Is there anything you haven't been asked to do yet?
You know, playing tight end, you know, that's what you expect. You know, it's a little bit of everything. You know, you're blocking, and then next play, like you said, you know, you're catching a pass. So it's nothing that I haven't practiced. It's nothing that Coach Jackson hasn't got, you know, us a million reps of throughout fall camp and practice leading up to the game. So really, you know, it is fun, you know, getting to catch the ball, but it's also fun blocking people, putting people in the dirt. You know, both ways. You know, I have fun, and that's what playing tight end's all about.
And then what did y'all see on that first drive? I know you've repped it everything a million times in camp that, you know, this will be a year that the offense is able to take that next step. Do you feel like you've broken through to a degree, or is there more that y'all can do, or how do you feel about as a whole what you're able to do against USC?
Yeah, I think we really had an amazing first drive, and I think a lot of that is to do with our experience as players. You know, we had Wiley Green back there. You know, he's played in multiple games for us and is a great quarterback. You know, having Luke McCaffrey also played in multiple games for us, and you know, exceptional talent, exceptional receiver, and just, you know, guys like Clay Sermon, guys like Shea Baker, you know, experienced players. And I think having that experience really, you know, led us to have that expectation, like, you know, we can do this. We're here. You know, in that first drive, we proved it. You know, we were moving the ball, doing some great things. And I think just having those mistakes, you know, later on, you know, easily correctable mistakes, you know, really just kind of brought us down a little bit. But like I said earlier, you know, to see an offense that even despite the mistakes, continue to play, continue to fight all the way to the final whistle is, you know, something that we hang our hat on, and something that, you know, we're going to continue to do every single game, no matter the scores, continue to play and play our hardest.
And then when you look ahead at McNeese from the defense side of the ball, how do you think y'all match up against them, and what are kind of your expectations for what y'all are able to do this weekend?
Yeah, I think it is interesting. It's unique that the defense coordinator was at Southern Miss, I think 2020, when we played them, and so a lot of that, you know, is something that we played against as far as the scheme. But they do have, you know, a lot of transfer guys, and as far as McNeese goes, and so it's just putting those names and putting those players to those spots in that scheme, and I think, you know, we're really going to have a great game plan with Coach Tui. And, you know, we're really going to do some great things on Saturday, just from what our offense is capable of.